What's your philosophy on training employees?
Do it often, in little bits, measure it, do the things that you're asking your staff or team members to do. They have to see you doing it. They have to understand why they're doing it. For instance, we have staff that come to us and they have a crutch word. It'll be like, and they have no idea that that word comes up every 10th word. So we'll record them, we'll play it back to them, and oftentimes it's the first time they've ever been told that they have that crutch word that's peppering their speech and making them sound ineffective. So we take pride in what our staff do, and we just push it all the time. And if they don't improve, we keep playing them back the audio, and when they leave our business, invariably they go away a far more polished business person than when they joined us.
What or how would your staff describe the culture in the message group?
Well, some of them would say cult-like, in so much as that we say, we're going to do this, all of us, this way. Oh, but I like to do it that way. No, we're going to do it this way because this way works. Now, if your way works better, that's great, but we're going to do it for everyone. So if you want to come in here, and it's much like McDonald's, you can't buy a McDonald's franchise and say, oh, I want to sell hot dogs, because they don't sell hot dogs. If you want to sell hot dogs, you've got to go buy some other franchise, but you just got to do what's successful. So the culture is we take great care with these people that they do the things that we know work. And if they don't do them, sometimes they're just not suited to working for us.
How would you describe your leadership style?
I want to paint a picture to my people, and I say, this is where we need to be. This is what this thing looks like. I think we should go this general direction, but I'm going to leave it to you to work out how we get there. So they have to see the end product. And if I don't paint a good enough picture of what that end product is, I'm going to get something back that I probably don't want.
Has that happened?
Oh, lots of times. Examples I can't think of, but yeah, I'll think, hey, didn't I give you enough information? And then I look back at it and I thought, no, I gave you the bare minimum, thinking that you would ask the right questions, and you didn't ask the right questions, so perhaps it's a joint problem we have.
And what does leadership mean to you as a business owner?
Pointing them in the right direction, giving them the tools that they need to do the job that I want them to do. That's the succinct answer.
And has your leadership, being growing globally, must have had so many challenges, you've outlined a few. Have you had to adapt your leadership style as you've expanded the business, or has it just evolved?
My style, I used to be quite fiery in the early years, and everybody used to feel that fire, because I would oversee the studio and the copywriting department and accounts and the sales department. But as we've grown, I've tended to just deal with the managers, and I perhaps have calmed a fair bit over the years, and as such they take away the ideas and they deal with stuff. So I perhaps don't frighten a few of them. Some of the meeker ones perhaps ended up a little bit scared or put off in the early days, but things have changed a fair bit since.
Interested to know a little bit more about that. Is it because you had incredibly high standards and they weren't being met? Because that's often, leaders often have that big challenge to adapt to that.
Yeah, it certainly would be part of it, and I expected that if I could do this job, surely you could do it, because I did every job. I was the perfect one-man band in my business. From the day I started, I could do every single thing, and then as the business grew, I stopped doing that bit and stopped doing that bit. So yes, there would be an element of that. And I think just over the time I've mellowed and given more of my responsibility to certainly my general manager, Kirralie, and to the others who you just gradually trust over time. And I look at someone like a Jade in our organisation. She speaks like me. She does the stuff that I used to do. Now, she didn't when she first came into the business, but just through that close working contact, she becomes the person that I would like to have managing my staff.
Must be rewarding to see that happening.
It is, and I don't think too often we've brought in people from outside as a manager and they've worked. They've tended to have to come into the organisation, and get that feeling of the culture, because it is a big a big change for a lot of people. They're not used to the perhaps overseeing we have and the measuring of performance, and this is a bit unusual. We just tend to do what we want in the other job.
So how do you motivate those key people? What's worked for you?
In terms of rewards, things like I'll write to one of our star performers' parents, and I'll write and say, hey, your son Bob's done a great job with us. You should be very proud of them. And it will be a bit more than that, but that's the gist of it. And I'll send it to their parents, and I'll get their parents' address. And invariably, I'll certainly get the staff member come to me and say, hey, Mum got that letter, or Dad got that letter. But sometimes I get mums in particular ring me in tears. Oh, no one's ever done that. That's fantastic. When a staff member has a baby, we'll send them these letters, envelopes, and we'll say, look, congratulations on your birth of your child. Here's 21 envelopes. Write them a letter, write your son or daughter a letter every year, put it in an envelope, and give them to them, they're 21. That's something that staff don't normally get. We'll do fun things, we'll take them out. We've taken a handful of our good staff overseas for fun trips. But in terms of generally motivating them, it's a variety of things. Another one we do is we send them magazines. So I know that you like, say, trail bike riding, so I'll get your trail bike magazine, and I'll write on post-it notes in there every 15th page or something, hey, you're great, Jade, or John, you're fantastic. And that's the sort of thing that they don't expect. And it carries a lot of weight, and they'll show others in the organisation about it, and it tends to build up our stocks too as employers.
Mm. And a lot of your managers, I'm led to believe, have been there for a very long time. Do you put it down to those little things?
Yeah, and that we give them the autonomy to go out and run their department the way they think it should be run, knowing how we think. Mm. And they don't get too much interference. They're not micromanaged, but they certainly understand what it is that we want from them. And they're good people. They've been with me a long time, and they don't tend to be idiots that last a long time. So I think we're on the right track.
Change is a big, ugly word in a lot of businesses. You have developed and diversified globally, and I imagine you've gone through your own fair share of change over the last 28 years. What are some of the things that you've used from a strategy perspective to implement change into your organisation?
If I think when we've bought Singapore, we've told our staff, right, we've got a Singapore office, and straight away they think, all right, how does that affect me? Is that good or bad? And you've got to manage their expectations. And that's probably not my strong suit. More so that's Kirralie or the managers will then have to go to their staff, and they know that they have to ask that question, because all they're thinking about, the staff, or all they're thinking about is, how does that affect me? So we have to manage that. But look, it's not a overly technical thing. I don't sit there and delve into it too deeply. We just decide, right, this is the change. How does it affect the staff? Let's just do it.
Technology is another one that sort of sits in the same category, and your industry is very technology focused. Mm-hmm. As technology's evolved and developed, how have you stayed ahead of the curve, particularly against your competition, to ensure that your market share is maintained?
If we take the on-hold side of the business, we deal with a lot of phone technicians, and they will contact us and say, oh, we've got a new phone system coming out next month and it's got these features. And if it's something new, well then our technical guys come to us and say, right, this thing does that. And then we will have to work out now, where's the opportunity for us? It's got inbuilt interactive voice recording messages. Great, well, we do that, and in the past we provided it on this platform. Now we get to do it inside the phone system. So we get a bit of a heads up, and it allows us to plan so that when we get that first call from a client, oh, I've got this new phone system and I want to do that, we don't look stupid. So it's through that network of phone technicians that we've been able to keep ahead of what's going on in that particular instance. And also I'm pretty keen with our guys in our office when we do our interesting marketing stuff. I'll see stuff on Facebook and I'll go to my guys and say, that's possible. How come you didn't tell me that's possible? Oh, we didn't think. No. If you find something new, I want to know about it. I'll give you an example. We did a thing called World's Greatest Business Mind. It's a video where you are the star of this news report. It's been viewed over 9 million times, and it was the most marvellous piece of technology. It took us a long time to put into place, but we got wind of it very early by someone sending me a video out of America, And as soon as I saw that, I thought, right, we have to do our own version of that. So look, I'm the first to admit I'm not going to come up with every new idea in the world. So I'll take what other people have done, I'll adapt it to what we do, and I'll put out something that hopefully has a great amount of impact. And certainly that thing has just been a runaway success. worldsgreatestbusinessmind.com.
There we go. We'll put that up on Facebook for everyone to check that out.